Everyone in this room has their own beliefs, their own thought process, their own individual thoughts on everything around them. And every individual, everything, the way we were raised, our religion, our race, our age, everything. Everything affects the way we think. So today, I want to talk about perspective and the problem with perspective. That sometimes we only think about our own perspective, not everybody else's. And the cause of that, I'll go over some causes, and I'll go over a solution to it. So, according to Dorothy Neddermeyer, PhD life coach and hypnotherapist, she says, our attitudes are affected by our perspective on everyday tasks. Every day we have errands and some responsibilities which might seem like too much for us to handle at the time. With the perspective of dread and being overwhelmed, you have created an attitude of failure. We don't agree with that, hopefully. It's times like these that we allow our perspective to create a bad mood. A bad mood will not change the fact that we have to complete these tasks throughout our day. Creating a bad mood only makes things worse. You can shift your perspective, thus shifting your attitude/mood. It is not what we do, but how we do it that makes the difference in our lives. That's what she says. So, what is perspective? Definition from Webster's Dictionary online. Perspective is a choice of a single viewpoint from which to sense, categorize, measure, or codify experience, typically for sharing it with another. It can be interpreted as a visual, audio, or linguistic choice, depending on the sense which is to be addressed and the media used in sharing. So, on our first main point, the problem. People don't, this is all my perception of perspective, okay? So, before we start thinking about things. People don't take a step back and think about other people's perspectives. Everyone's just in their own head. This is a problem because it creates arguments, it creates negativity, and I believe it's a problem. At times we get caught up in our own thoughts and don't allow ourselves to have an open mind. Not allowing yourself to have an open mind, like I said, can cause problems. Open-mindedness is being receptive to new and different ideas or the opinions of others. That's from the dictionary. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is perspective, not the truth. From Marcus Aurelius. If someone is stating something that they think, that is just that. That's something they think. So we should not trip on it if we don't think the same thing, And nothing says it's true, but we jump to those conclusions a lot. For example, the other day in this class, this same group of people in English class was tripping on everyone. People will be up here doing mini speeches. That's, you know what I'm saying? Like everyone had their own thoughts, and these people had their own thoughts, but if we would have kicked back and thought like, all right, they came up, they were brought up differently, they were raised by a different mama, you know what I'm saying? Like, you would probably understand like, all right, that's cool, that's how they think, and I'm going to respect it, but we all jumped on each other, and in English class it happens a lot, and it's kind of cool, but it's cool to see that everyone has a different viewpoints, but we should probably take a step back and look and like, alright, well that's cool, like I respect that, that's how they think, and this is how I think, You don't have to verbalize it and get all crazy, and that is the problem, in my eyes, that's like I said, that's my perception of it. And so for my next one point, this is the cause, okay? Like I said earlier, everyone perceives things differently due to the way they're raised, religion, race, and ignorance, which is a lack of knowledge, education, and awareness. From the dictionary. What we've been talking about in English class, most of us, sorry for those who aren't in it, we've been talking about awareness and knowledge and education. And if we don't have that stuff, it's ignorance. And ignorance can cause us to just say whatever we think without really thinking about what we're saying, These things affect our everyday life. Everything in our everyday life can affect our perception in the moment. Does that make sense? Something happens, it's going to affect the way we think about something at that time. And then a lot of the times, after the problem happened, we be like, that was dumb, I shouldn't have, that was wrong of me. But if we would have thought about that a second ahead, we wouldn't have said those things, and we wouldn't have caused a problem or caused an issue that happened throughout that day. and our days would probably be a little brighter and a little better if we looked at it differently, if we looked at the situation a little differently. Okay? Yeah. My next main point, solution. Here's a quote. The true test of character is not how much we know how to do, but how we behave when we don't know how to do it. That is from John Holt. That just tells me, and it's kind of true, like when there's a situation that happens and we don't know how to handle it, we get all like out of control because it's out of our control, and we jump to conclusions. And if we just calm down to how we handle that, that defines who we are in a way. And that's just how I think, you know. Right. So to me, the solution of this closed-minded perspective is to just be aware of our thought process throughout our everyday lives. When a situation occurs that we might not necessarily agree with, let's not jump all over it and let our emotions get to us and get narrow-minded in only one way. Let's take a step back, like I said, and take into consideration that the other person did grow up differently from you and may not think the same as you do. So don't trip on things that you don't agree with or don't understand. Look at all perspectives of the situation, look at all different sides, and then analyze it. In closing, all this, like I said, is my own perception of perspective. Perspective can bring different thoughts to your own heads right now. I'm sure some of us had different thoughts about this, what I've said, and that's cool. I think that's cool. But out of all this, I would want each and every one of us to be more aware of the perspective in which we think. Taking that step back to see all the different sides, all angles of the situation, and maybe, I know all of this I just said is pretty short, and we all know it, we're all like, yeah, that's obvious. But how do we apply it? Do we really apply it in everyday life? Do you really think about it? Because it does affect us every day. And what I'm asking you is just to kind of check yourself before you start to get all crazy, you know? Maybe not get all crazy, but start thinking like in your own head and not outside the box, okay? Like, that's all I'm asking is everyone just be aware of their thoughts and how they relay their thoughts verbally. And